The number 13. It's a symbol of bad luck. In Anglo-Saxon culture, especially in the U.S., the number 13 has long been associated with superstition. Many buildings skip the 13th floor, and people avoid it whenever possible. Before we briefly explore why the number 13 is viewed as unlucky in Anglo-Saxon culture, please remember to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and stay tuned for more stories about sports and culture. Without further ado, let's get into it. It's a belief that has roots in history and mythology. In Christianity, 13 is associated with Judas Iscariot, the 13th guest at the Last Supper who betrayed Jesus. Similarly, in Norse mythology, the uninvited trickster god Loki was the 13th guest at a banquet in Valhalla, bringing chaos and misfortune. This fear of 13, known as triskaidekaphobia, has influenced many aspects of American life, from buildings, hotel rooms, to Friday the 13th horror stories. But in baseball, a sport already rich with its own superstitions, a different narrative has emerged, thanks to some bold players. When it comes to Major League Baseball, this so-called unlucky number has been embraced by some of the game's biggest stars. In fact, some of the most talented players, especially Venezuelans, have not only worn the number 13, but also redefined it, turning it from a symbol of misfortune into a badge of greatness. The story of the number 13 in MLB starts with a Venezuelan legend, David Concepción. Concepción, the star shortstop for the Cincinnati Reds during the 1970s and 1980s, proudly wore the number 13 for his entire career. Part of the legendary Big Red Machine, he won 2 World Series titles and was selected to 9 All-Star teams. Concepción's brilliance on the field, particularly his defensive skills, helped to shift the perception of the number 13. Far from bringing bad luck, he became one of the best shortstops of his era. For many Venezuelans, Concepción's success made the number 13 a symbol of pride and accomplishment. Fast forward to the 1990s and early 2000s, and we find another Venezuelan superstar following in Concepción's footsteps, Omar Vizquel, widely regarded as one of the best defensive shortstops of all time, wore number 13 for much of his career, primarily with the Cleveland Indians, now Guardians. Vizquel's 11 Gold Glove awards and longevity in the game, playing for 24 seasons, only reinforced the idea that 13 was not a curse, but rather a number of greatness. Like Concepción before him, Vizquel helped turn this unlucky number into a hallmark of excellence, especially in Venezuela, where young players began to view 13 with admiration rather than fear. In more recent years, several Venezuelan stars have continued to proudly wear number 13, each contributing to its redefinition in Major League Baseball. Asdrubal Cabrera, known for his versatility and clutch hitting, donned the number 13 during his time with teams like the Cleveland Guardians, Washington Nationals, and New York Mets. Cabrera played a key role in helping the Nationals win their first World Series in 2019. His calm demeanor and consistent performance made him a leader on the field, and like his predecessors, he wore 13 as a badge of honor, not a curse. Then there's Salvador Pérez, a Venezuelan catcher who has been a cornerstone of the Kansas City Royals since 2011. Though he primarily wears number 13 for Venezuela's national team during international competitions, Pérez has become one of the most respected players in MLB. A 7-time All-Star, 5-time Gold Glove winner, and 2015 World Series MVP, Pérez's leadership and defensive prowess behind the plate have made him a dominant force. His use of number 13 on the international stage shows that, for Venezuelans, 13 is a number of pride, not bad luck. And finally, we have Ronald Acuña Jr., one of the brightest young stars in the game today. Acuña, an MVP-caliber outfielder for the Atlanta Braves, wore the number 13 when he burst onto the scene, electrifying the baseball world with his power, speed, and energy. A World Series champion in 2021, Acuña is redefining what it means to wear 13 in modern baseball, showing that the number is associated with success, not failure. While Venezuelans have played a huge role in redefining the number 13, they're not the only ones. Alex Rodriguez, one of the most famous and sometimes controversial players in baseball history, embraced the number 13 during his time with the New York Yankees. When Rodriguez joined the Yankees, the number 3, which he wore in Seattle and Texas, was already retired in honor of Babe Ruth. A-Rod chose 13, despite its reputation. And despite the ups and downs of his career, Rodriguez was a 3-time MVP and a World Series champion. He became a living testament to the idea that the number 13 could be associated with greatness, even in American baseball culture. For many Venezuelan players, the number 13 is more than just a number. It's a statement. In Venezuelan culture, numbers don't carry the same superstitions they do in Anglo-Saxon traditions. So when these athletes stepped onto the field wearing 13, they weren't just breaking a tradition, they were creating a new one. David Concepción, Omar Vizquel, Asdrubal Cabrera, Salvador Pérez, Ronald Acuña Jr. All of these stars have shown that 13 can be a number of pride, skill, and resilience. In a sport filled with superstitions, these players defied expectations and changed the narrative around what 13 represents. What was once feared as a number of bad luck is now worn by some of the greatest players in Major League Baseball history. Thanks to the efforts of these stars, especially the Venezuelan legends, the number 13 no longer carries the weight of superstition. Instead, it stands for talent, determination, and the power to rewrite history. So next time you see the number 13 on the back of a jersey, don't think of it as unlucky. Think of the legends who wore it and the legacy they've built. Until next time, stay curious. Wait, how could I forget? Ozzie Guillen is another MLB star who proudly rocked the number 13. Guillen had an incredible career both as a player and a manager. As a shortstop, he played 16 seasons in the majors, most notably with the Chicago White Sox, earning 3 All-Star selections and a Gold Glove in 1990. But his legacy didn't stop there. He made history as the first Latino manager to win a World Series, leading the White Sox to their 2005 championship. Guillen didn't just wear 13, he owned it, both on the field and from the dugout. And that's a wrap for today. Make sure to stay tuned for more exciting stories from the world of sports and culture right here on your new favorite channel, Smash 79. Don't miss out.